Autogefühl, and we're here with the next episode. Today with a Fiat Freemont. You guys from the US maybe know it as a Dodge Journey, and our Japanese friends maybe know it as the Dodge JC. So they are basically all built in Mexico, and they just get different batch. And if you may be driving a Dodge Journey yourself, then I would really like if you view the video and tell me what is actually really different about the cars, because basically it should really just be the badge and some minor details. Well, and what is so special about this car? I think it's very interesting because on the outside, I would clearly say it looks like an SUV, but in the inside, it is rather a van, and that is kind of very seldom, especially in this kind of price segment. So especially here at the side profile you see, the car is 4.9 meters long, so actually quite long, but it's relatively low. So for an SUV you would expect something higher, and you see if I'm standing next to it, I can easily put my hand on here and reach the roof rails. So you see it's relatively low, and that makes it kind of a van from the inside and not such a high SUV. In this version, this is the launch trim level. Here in Germany it starts at 27,000 euros, and with the launch trim level it's at 35,000 euros. That's still kind of a cheap price if you compare other models, and there's really no real model I would like to compare it to, because maybe if you think about the new Hyundai Grand Santa Fe, it fits from the size. It's also kind of this SUV look, but it's almost double the price when you got the equal trim level. Then again, if you maybe move to the Chevrolet Captiva or the Opel Antara, well, you got the price then. It's almost kind of equal, but then they are pretty much shorter. So, and if you look at the van versatility, you would maybe take a Ford S-Max or Ford Galaxy, but then again, you got no SUV look. So therefore, I think this car stands quite seldom in its segment. That makes it very interesting. From the total production view, we got about 130,000 vehicles every year from the Dodge Journey and the Fiat Freemont together. Most of them stay in the US. There you usually got bigger petrol engines. There's also a V6 available. And only some cars go abroad, and especially to Europe. And in Germany, we sell about like 2,000 cars from it every year. This is a diesel now, of course. The petrol engine almost plays no role, especially in Germany. There are two diesels available. It's always a 2-liter one, and either with 140 or 170 horsepower, as it is here right now. The consumption on 100 kilometers is about 8 liters, which is fairly okay, considering that this car weighs 2 tons. So it's kind of really a heavy thing. And you also see it in the design. It's not so much round forms here. Everything is kind of edgy. And of course you got this great SUV look. I think it's quite of a nice car, especially now here in the white color, with the big alloys here as well. And I think so you really got this SUV look. Also, you don't have a quite SUV car. So this could maybe be something when you have a great family and don't want to have this typical family van in front of your house. Then you got a nice stylish alternative. And Fiat here in Germany says that due to this reason, this car is also again increasing in sales figures now. The back is also very strong. You see that the headlights push a bit forward, and again, not so many round structures to have this strong SUV kind of look. Here we got a small AVD badge, and of course this means all-wheel drive. And here it works away, it's predominantly in the front, and then in case of slippery conditions, also power is directed to the rear wheels. you something about the interior. The basic impression is that it's not too classy, of course, and you shouldn't expect it in this kind of price segment. Everything is rather black, hard plastic. But I must say it's kind of clean because you got the big touch screen here where you got most of the functions. You only got, for example, like the climate shortcuts here and turn on the front heating for the windscreen, DVD and SD card. But usually you got this everything here in the touchscreen. So it's kind of clean. You just got 1 or 2 lines here, and that's quite nicely done. But as I said, you shouldn't expect too much great materials. The steering wheel, however, is very good. It's very soft, the surface feels nice to touch it, and you also got very good handling with it. Even though it's a pretty long car, it's very, very easy to drive, I must say. So if you are not used to drive such a long car, it's absolutely no problem, because first of all, you don't sit too high, you sit relatively low for such a car. And due to the very easy steering, it's also very easy to handle. Even parking or so is not too hard with this car. So also good for beginners of big car drivers. What is not that good are also here like the quality of the seats. We got the leather seats in here, but you see this car has run about 20,000 kilometers and it's already starting to get some waves here, and I'm not sure what happened here, but you see it's not that durable, I must say. And also quality wise, when touching it, it doesn't feel like the best leather. I think it's also a mixture. But what I must say, the seating position itself is very comfortable. So I would maybe not recommend the leather seats, but the seats itself, you can go long ways with it. It's absolutely no problem. Sitting in the back, it's a pity you can't really see the panoramic roof because it is not continuing here in the back. Otherwise, the panoramic roof is very good, especially for the front passengers to get some fresh air. And about the back seating position, okay, you got enough legroom. Well, it could be a little bit more, but that's the reason because we got another row in the back there. And headroom is very, very much, so absolutely no problem. I feel a bit too tall for the back seats somehow. It maybe have something to do with the backrest here. So I'm not too keen on sitting here in the back, but you got a lot of space. And I think it's pretty much fitting if you got kids, then it's very good to sit in here. But there always something more about this kind of car. And I'm showing you back there in the trunk. Because basically we got a very huge trunk. And there are actually also some secrets about it. So for example here, if you just pull this latch here, okay, that's live now. And you see where are the real secrets. You first have to move the seat here. It pulls up automatically and then you can actually pull this latch and you get another seat. Same here again. I think it's blocked again. Maybe come here, then I can show you from the side when you come around. Here, there's a trigger here. And then what's quite funny is that, you know, this always also moves up and then you can put it in the front. That's quite a funny thing. And you can also just push it here. And that's kind of also the secret here for entering the 6th and the 7th seat. Because then I can go in here. And I'm sitting here all the way back. And it's quite funny for an adult because, well, just from the seat it is possible to sit here as well. But of course you don't have really so much space for your legs. But for example, if you drive a lot of kids to the soccer club or something like that, that is a very good solution. So you're always flexible by this. And there are some more clever solutions here. For example here, you can pull this one up for a child seat. And we also got secret chambers here. For example, here at the floor of the back seats, we even can stuff something in here. Maybe even an expensive camera when you leave the car or so. So that's a very nice thing. You also got this at the other side, here in the back. And you got another one at the front seat. That one, you maybe also know it from Jeep models. It's here. We got the documents here right now, but of course you can also put some other stuff in there. So, a lot of clever spaces here in that car. I think everything you want to carry fits in here, be it persons or be it luggage. As for driving, I have already told you that you always feel very good in this car, even when you are a beginner of driving such a big car, 4.9 meters long. But due to the very, very easy steering, you don't really feel the length of the car. And also when you try to park in, we also got a rear view camera here. It's absolutely no problem. So I can really recommend this car for people who first time buy a bigger car for the family, for example. And I think it's also a very relaxing ride because, you know, the engine, well, I think it's strong enough, but of course it's not a sports engine. But overall, I'm quite satisfied with this diesel, 170 horsepower diesel, 2 liters capacity. I'm just not that satisfied with the automated gear transmission because it sometimes, well, it doesn't really know in which gear to shift. I can try it right now here, for example. When I push the throttle a little bit harder, the engine kind of screams a bit and then, okay, just stays in the gear. Accelerate again, then okay, I would expect the transmission to go next gear a little bit earlier. And what is very, very bad, I must say, when you're, for example, going like 40, 50, going on cruise control, then it can happen. Then during being in the cruise control, he shifts down and you kind of brake because he shifts down. And I don't know that from other cars. So about the automatic transmission here, I would maybe work on that one. But in general, you can get along with this engine very well, and if you just get used to the transmission, that it's not that perfect. Steering wheel fits very much to the car as well. It reminds you a bit of the Jeep Grand Cherokee as well as these small buttons here at the back of the steering wheel. The Grand Cherokee is not a sister model like the Dodge Journey, but still some parts, of course, are just in the Fiat corporation and they are shared then. So I'm making a U-turn here now, also no problem. And seating comfort is very good. I could imagine going a very long way now. This is also not a problem. So I would say if you don't want to spend so much money, but you really need a lot of space and want to have driving comfort, and you don't really need the very luxurious interior, and you say, okay, I don't care about that much, then I think it's a very nice car because you got this SUV look on the outside and the van atmosphere on the inside. I've told you in the beginning that we don't have so many buttons here, which is quite nice, looks quite clean, because everything is here inside the touchscreen. Like just the basic surface, it could look a bit more modern, but I think it's still okay. You know it from other Fiat Corporation models. And that's also kind of a funny thing here that you get some similarities to, for example, a Maserati Ghibli here in the Fiat Freemont, because it's almost kind of the same system. It's very easy, I must say. It reacts quite fast. Here, for example, for the USB stick, which is in the below the armrest. Here you can put on the seat heating. 2 different levels. The climate control is either possible here, buttons up here and below here, or you can put the finger in the middle. And climate control is also possible here, for example, more ventilation or minus and plus. And I think it's quite good that you still got it here, because sometimes you're used to do it very fast just with one button. Audi does it in the same way. They also try to concentrate the most of the stuff in the touchscreen, but then, for example, climate control as extra buttons as well. And I think that's also a good solution. So what else do we got here? We got the GPS, of course, with a nice digital map. It works very, very fast as well. I've tested it, and it's also up to date, no problem. It's also very easy to pair your phone. I've put my phone off now because maybe we got some distortions then in the video, but it's no problem to pair your phone. Then you can stream Bluetooth or, of course, talk via Bluetooth, and then you got some settings here as well. So in general, it's very intuitive. It's no problem to control. You don't have to search for some of the functions, and so I think that's a very good solution for this car. The engine could be a bit calmer while driving, I must say, but in general you just feel relaxed in this car, and I was quite surprised that also the suspension is quite good actually. So there's nothing to moan about suspension wise. They've worked on it as well, especially for this European version here for the Freemont. The suspension was improved. So, what do you think about the car? I want to hear your comments on the car, and especially maybe if some of you own already a Fiat Freemont or own a Dodge Journey, or maybe think about buying one, then tell me your thoughts, please. And for the final comment, of course, we're going outside again. So, to sum it up for you, the price is very attractive. The interior quality, well, it's not the best one, of course, but the engine has a fair consumption, really, and you got a lot of space in it. And I think this combination of the van and your SUV look, van inside, SUV outside, is very interesting. And as I said in the beginning, there's hardly any car that matches this at this price level. If you think there's a car that does this, then leave it in the comments. I'm very keen on that. So, thank you very much for watching us again, and we see you at the next episode of Autogefühl. It's Thomas for you.